I'm really confused now. I know that the height speaker is just a upward angled speaker, then the in-room tower speaker, so that's the one I wanted. Right. Hello, people of YouTube. We are back in the office today, and I have some stuff to unbox. My voice is still very... So what we have here, get rid of that. Episode, a very unknown, I suppose, hi-fi or audio brand. In and amongst AV professionals, it is something that is becoming more commonplace. So in here I've got a... Let's see, there it is. Episode Dynamic Series Class D amplifier, 200 watt by 2 channels. So that 200 watts is at 4 ohms, I believe. These are some 8 ohm speakers, so that amplifier would put out, I think, it's 170 watts at 8 ohm. I'm not sure, I'll have to double check. Oh, the sticker is kind of covering up half of what's here. But hang on, there's a label. There it is. Let me find the label. So these are Episode HT standing for Home Theatre Series 6-inch in-room monitor speakers in black. I've got 2 speakers, a stereo amp. I'm going to unbox them shortly and see what they look like. I did actually want to get the larger floor standing versions of these speakers to sit next to these, or not to have listen at the same time, but you know, as a comparison. But instead what we're going to do is just put them on there for now. So I might move these out of it, have them inside, whatever. And I know being there, they're not going to be very tall. So given seating position, this center speaker is ear height, essentially. And obviously these speakers sitting on there, they are going to be somewhat lower. So at some point I may get some little pedestals for them, or even have to build just a small pedestal just to raise them up enough to make them a bit more centered on the ear. If need be, for now I can just tilt them up. So yeah, as I said, I wanted to get the larger floor standing towers because they are very much full range speakers. I think they have a frequency response of something like 37 hertz up to around 20 kilohertz. So that's a very nice range. These speakers, so these are the larger of the 2 in-room, the smaller monitors. You can get them as a 4-inch or a 6-inch. The 6-inch ones have a frequency response, I believe, of 47 hertz up to 20 kilohertz or thereabouts. And then the 4-inch ones, they go down to about 55 hertz, I think, but don't quote me on that. Okay, check out the rest of the Episode Home Theatre Series product line. So, yeah, in-room reference tower speaker. Those are the ones I wanted. Okay, wait, no. So, home theatre reference. So, yeah, those tower speakers. No, so it's not the... I'm completely confused. So, home theatre reference, that's not the range I'm looking at here. That's not this range. That's not what I was looking at. What I was looking at are these. So in-room satellite speakers, those would be... I'm really confused now. I know that the height speaker is just a upward angled speaker, then the in-room tower speaker, so that's the one I wanted. Right. I need to get some clarity on what it means by satellite speaker, LCR speaker, because I thought these are just basically the L and the R of the LCR, because like I said, the center channel is horizontal. Yeah, I'll find out more on that later. Anyway, for now, let's get the unboxing started. So the first box I'm going to open is the amplifier. As you saw there, it comes with a UK power plug, because Episode being a US product, they come as standard with US spec plugs. Installation manual, and this also lists the other amps available in this series. So you got this one's the 2D, the 2-channel, then it's the 8-channel, 12-channel and 16-channel. I've used, I believe it was the 16-channel in a professional installation before. Actually, no, it wasn't the dynamic though. It was the DSP series, where that has built-in DSP, because every room was different and we wanted everything to sound the same essentially. From professional installation experience, the Episode amps are very good, especially the DSP ones. It's all a web-based user interface, which obviously this one won't have, because this is essentially what we call a dumb amp. You turn it on, you provide it some input, and that's that. And obviously it's volume control. So 4 feet to go on the bottom, which I will be using, seeing as this will be standing on there as well to be showcased alongside the speakers, because this will be a demo system. And then a Phoenix connector, because on the back of this amp, rather than having screw terminals, which is a very common thing for professional installation amps, and this is a rack mount bracket, so you can, obviously this will go into a 19-inch rack. Let me set the phone down for a second. Let's get this out of here. So, there's the other half of the rack mount bracket. And then, as I mentioned, the US spec cable, which obviously we won't be using. So, let's get the packaging gunk off there. Set this down there. Come back here. So on the front of it, very basic, you've got a power button there, model number, and then, so there's a strip you can faintly see there, which I think it just lights up blue, or is it red? I can't remember. And then you've got the number 1 focus, number 1 there with a little, there will be a blue light above it. So it's got a 1 there, even though it's a 2-channel, because it's a 1-zone amp. So the other versions, so the 8D amp will have 1, 2, 3, 4 on the front with 4 lights, the 12 will have 6, and the 16 will have 8 for the number of zones respectively, and whichever zones are individually turned on, the light under that number lights up. So it's only the stereo amp, I believe, that has this power button, so you have manual override, so to speak. All of the other ones, the larger amps, don't have a power button, because they are turned on via software, essentially. Right, so on the back of it, as I said, it's a dumb amp, essentially. Power in, power switch, optical in and out, so it's essentially audio pass-through, so you can link multiple amps together. Then you've got this 12-volt trigger, which is obviously for, triggering anything, be it like a projector or a motorized mount, anything like that. Level being gain. Then you've got in and out RCAs here, and then the sub out, so you can use this as a 2.1 system as well. So yeah, if these speakers don't have enough range on them, I can always connect this to the subwoofer that I've got under there. And then obviously you select what the input is, line in or optical. On a larger amp, or actually would be on the DSP amps, you wouldn't have all these manual switches on here, except for maybe how it's turned on. So the on settings fairly self-explanatory. 12-volt is if you've got trigger input. Audio is once it starts sensing audio, it turns on automatically. Or on is just, it's on permanently. And then obviously the Phoenix connector we have goes in there, and that's how the speaker wire gets connected up. So that's the amp. It's nice and compact. Obviously, as I said, it is a rack mount device, or rack mountable, and you can actually have 2 of them next to each other. 2 of them will fit next to each other in the rack, and I believe there is a way of actually fixing them together. There's a shelf. Let's see, you've got these 2 unused screw holes here, so there's a shelf that actually connects 2 of them next to each other, and then you just put the one single rack here on each end of the 2 amps essentially. So yeah, as far as professional install goes, they are very, very versatile. So yeah, okay, let me set this aside, and we'll move on to the speakers. I'm gonna set the phone down there, and let's go in, open it up. Oh, didn't cut that straight. It's better. Okie dokie. Open this up first. So, inside the box, I mean, fairly standard for what you expect to see from a speaker or speaker packaging. What have they got down here? Okay, so the speaker obviously has a bass port, and you've got this little plug for dampening the bass response, I suppose, slightly. What does that say on there? Home theatre reference series, and in-room speakers. So yeah, all of these have that. So let me yet again set this here, because this is a little bit heavy. The only thing, now I've not opened it upside down, but there's nowhere to grab onto it, and I can feel the drivers right there. I suppose I'll go for the old technique of flipping it and tipping it. Which is easy enough. Put the box one side. Bit of silica gel. Always make sure to eat that separately. Don't eat it before anyone says anything. That's silica gel, not made for consumption. Right, so here, I'll open this now actually. Oh, the knife's under there. So this will be the grill. Oh, so these speakers actually have what they call localized grills, which is to say each grill, if you get the tower speaker set for instance, each driver has its own grill. So in this case, oh, they're taped down, so let's try and get the non-reflective view of this. So you've got a magnetic grill for the tweeter, and then a separate magnetic grill for the woofer. So you can have just one on there, both or none, rather than covering the whole front of the speaker with one massive grill. It's essentially just this, what looks like an all metal plate that just sticks on the front. So let's set that one side. Now cut that. Oh, there's yet more tape. Wow. Well, I do like it when a speaker comes in. Wow, that is shiny. Not the flattest finish, but it's something. Although I suppose given the price point of these speakers, this set is, what's going on out there? This set is around about, oh, that's a good question. I think these are about £500 each. I'm try and not get fingerprints all over it. Flip over again. Get that polystyrene off. Take the bag off. Flip it this way, and there we go. That's a very nice looking speaker, like genuinely. I haven't even had this in decent light yet because the light in here is terrible. I'll open the door in a bit. It's just I don't have the door open when I'm recording a video because there's a main road there and it's bloody noisy. Now this speaker, wow, it actually looks amazing, and weirdly, see that there? So that's a mounting screw. So these are designed to also be wall mounted, I believe. Either that or a securement screw, I don't know. And obviously, seeing by how many terminals there are back there, these can be bi-amped, which, in my opinion, has always been a bit overkill for this kind of speaker where it's just a single cabinet with just two drivers, unless it was something radical where, say, one driver was like a 12-inch woofer and the other one was like a 4-inch tweeter or something massive like that. In this case, it's a 1.5-inch tweeter and a 6-inch woofer, which, you know, and I think the power handling on these are around 180 watts RMS. So yeah, I suppose maybe if you had a smaller 4-channel amp, then or a lower power 4-channel amp, then it would make sense. I've just realised as well, get the depth of these, they're not going to fit on there. Bugger. I'm going to have to set these up elsewhere, or just get some stands for them, or just put them on their boxes for now, because yeah, the box on its side is the same height as our cabinet. I should have probably checked the dimensions of these before I decided I'm going to put them there. Although, yeah, it's going to be the same issue as that, where the front of the speaker overhangs. With these, it's not so bad because these speakers were built nearly 2 years ago, way before this wall was built. So I'm going to take a little break there because I need to make some coffee first and foremost. I'm going to unbox the other speaker, get everything lined up, get everything cleared up, get the amp plumbed in, turned on, powered up. I need to make up some speaker cables. I've got some banana plugs somewhere and I've got some spare cable there. So yeah, that'll take a few minutes. And then once they're all set up in all their glory, we'll catch up and see how they look in situ. Also, quick update on the panels, the sound absorber diffuser panels. Yeah, like I said, they're lightweight, so just a small piece of Velcro seems to hold them very well. They're exactly where I left them. I also added some by the rear speakers. There's one there and one there. So yeah, they're still in place. Very impressed so far. I'm going to make another either 2 or 4 that I'm going to trial spraying black, because the client for who I am developing these, the room they're going into is completely black. So all the walls are black, the doors are black, everything's black for obviously best light control. So where these will be going, yeah, they need to be black too, seamlessly blend into the backgrounds. Okay, I'm going to open the door, unbox the speakers, get them set up, make some cables, and then we will have a look at the final setup. Okay, so here we have it. Just had to find one of these old school aux cables to connect up to the amp. Got the amp just sitting on its box there. The speakers here, that's as good as it's going to get for now until I can find a way of more permanently putting them on this cabinet or mounting them next to the walls, although there will be somewhat of an impediment to walking through there, so whatever. Okay, I'm gonna have a listen. Look how shiny they are, damn. Mirror finish. Yeah, look at that. So that's carbon fiber cone, and then yeah, there's tweeter. I haven't even taken the grills out to see what they look like. I'm not interested in having the grills on there at the moment. Maybe I'll put the grill on one of them and leave it off one to give a comparison. But yeah, gonna have a listen. Obviously what I listen to I can't have on the video because of copyright strikes, etc. Maybe I'll find some music that isn't copyrighted and see what they sound like. So yeah, let's have a listen.
At 29 and I found myself wondering what did happen to the last 10. I ran away with my life, fast forward and never turn back again. It's kind of funny that the more we pass time, the more we need to set the rewind. And 19 was the year I had to leave you, but now I'm seeing all the signs.
Well, these sound good for how compact they are. So I did have a little comparison between those and these. Played the same track at about the same volume, and then you turned one down, listened to the other, and vice versa to compare how they sound in comparison. So these are slightly backed by this subwoofer that's down there. That's set to a very low pass filter crossover. I think it's at like, I want to say 65 hertz maybe, because these drivers they only respond well down to around, I want to say it's 55, 57 thereabouts. But then this cabinet is tuned for around 53 hertz for the bass frequency. So it definitely needs, is it 53, maybe 50? Yeah, it's about 53 hertz if memory serves correctly. So they are supported by the subwoofer. So these with the subs compared to these actually feel like they put out more bass. So that's surprise number one. The only thing that I really picked up on as a difference between the two of them is the high ends. So there's something about this tweeter design that I think makes it sound not as crystal clear as it can be. There's just something about the look of this design as well. I'm sure that does alter the sound. So compared to these, which have this weird brass nipple thing on the front. Okay, so these are technically, so these are 2-inch tweeters and these are like 1.5 inch or thereabouts. The clarity of the high ends from these seem better. So the same song playing, same volume, stop these, play these, and there are a lot more of the highs, the hi-hats especially, so like cymbals and that, there was great clarity even at low volumes. With these speakers, it seems as the volume goes down, the treble seems to roll off a lot quicker than the bass does. But then, yeah, the mid-range, everything like that, sounds great at all volumes. But then when you do get these at higher volumes, where I know weirdly these, actually I've not had these at full volume, but I know these can distort. I can't remember the make of these tweeters, but I have seen these distort, especially if they're used without a filter. Obviously there is a filter in there now, but we're not talking about that. At higher volumes, the treble does come to life a bit more. So yeah, the amp, I just had it set at about half gain, or the level halfway. I did crank it up slightly for a bit of a louder listen. Don't want to turn out too much today because there are neighbours in. It's still early in the morning. But first impressions, yeah, they do sound awesome. So there we have it, a pair of in-room 6 monitors from Episode with the Episode 200 watt, 2 channels, has 400 watt stereo amplifier. They look great, they sound great. The exact price of them, I didn't check. Let me go find out. Okay, so yeah, as I said earlier, the speakers, they are 520 each, £1,040 for a pair, and then the amplifier is £760. So that makes it 1,800 for this set, minus cabling, etc. Obviously, the only thing this doesn't have is a source to play music from. One thing I would recommend adding there is like a Sonos Connect or the new Sonos Bridge or whatever they call it. Episode do have a Sonos Connect equivalent type of box that you can plug into it. I think they're about £350 or something. It just sits on the network, streams the majority of online music services, and yeah, well, it's about half the price of the Sonos equivalent. So anyway, if you are interested in buying a set of this, be sure to check out my company website. That's commandav.co.uk. I'll have a link in the description down below as well. Otherwise, reach out to me on social media. I can always point you in direction to buy them online or place an order. Nice compact system, sounds great. I just need to find somewhere to put them on display a bit more elegantly than cardboard boxes. Righto, well, thanks for tuning in. That's been today's video. A little unboxing, not something I normally do, but as I had the new kit here and it's something I've been waiting for quite a while, I figured why not. Here we are, next to the episode speaker. So shiny.